Alright, so far what I've done was I moved the rear light to the front. As you can see here, the same light, or same bulbs, or LED bulbs more or less. And they are wired in parallel to each other. And all I got to do is just connect the rears, which is actually on the body here. So I just got to solder this. And I'm actually waiting for the glue. I bought some tacky glue for the front lights. So I gotta wait for it to dry a little bit so I can actually insert them in. And also, actually, I soldered the truck leads in the rear. Both front and back trucks are powered by um, the rear connectors in the back. And you'll see in a moment. Because in the very beginning, the front trucks, if I lift the front trucks up here, the engine was shut off. And it doesn't do that anymore. So let's take a look. Now just turn on the lights. And as you can see, the lights still work. And we're going to lift the rear truck. So far, very good. And we're going to rear the front. Perfect. So I'm just going to put everything together. And hopefully it goes smoothly. And I'll be right back. You would think it'd be finished by now, but actually I ran into a couple of snags. Now, the lights turn out fine. The way I arranged it. I moved the rear light that was here and I put it up front. That's identical to the front light. And I put the monster LED in the back, and that worked out beautifully when I had the model running. So you're probably wondering if you look, if you was looking at the video, like why you have the decoder out now. Well, I guess the soldering didn't go too well, and this is the reason why. I was using this old Radio Shack solder. It's like a brown gooky solder, and I generally use it and I don't have much of a problem, but for some reason, well, it was basically it kind of melted over the it's supposed to melt the flux, but it also melted onto the circuit board. Not the solder, but the flux itself. And I think what happened, it was cross-talking. It didn't really short it to the point where, like, if it was a short, basically the decoder would shut itself off. And it was a couple of times I have shorted decoders, they'll just turn off. To protect itself, it just turns itself off. It'll turn the locomotive off. And so what I did was I used some denatured alcohol. And then, of course, I removed the decoder. As you can see, I got some denatured alcohol, and I cleaned off the extra flux that flowed onto the circuit board. And I'm going to see what happens after that. What I forgot to tell you, how did it perform? Before I did all this, well, what was happening, to warrant taking out the decoder was when I put it on the track. The engine turned on without a problem. All the sounds worked fine. Everything worked fine except for the motor control. Basically, when you basically notch it up, what would happen is that the engine will notch up, but it won't move. And it will only move if I put it up to maybe notch 5. And then it'll just take off like a bat out of hell. And I thought, what the hell is that about? So basically, I reset the decoder by using CV8 and put the value of 8. And it sure got rid of the problem of it not starting up or not moving. But the problem was, once it started moving, it gradually got faster and faster and faster until the engine was like basically rocketing down the track. So I was like, uh-oh, I said, something is not quite right. So basically I surmised that it was just a flux. It was just basically, the flux wasn't actually clean. So probably most likely we were getting crosstalk and for the motor control, and it just wanted just to take off like a rocket. So or it just didn't move at all at first, but reprogramming it changed something and it started basically taking off. So cleaning all the flux, hopefully that works. You know, it would be a damn shame if I destroyed this decoder and I have to eat the job. I mean, even though he'll have to pay me for the other one, but that kind of is null and void. If the decoder goes bad, I have to buy him a new decoder, and then I'll be very upset. Uh, I never had problems like that. I mean, but you do this long enough, you'll run into snags here and there. So now another issue that I ran into is basically the leads to the motor. Now what happened was, with this tugging and moving all, this wire came out of the motor, which is like, you can't really see it. You can't see it at all. It's too dark. But it's on the bottom. It's not like the red one is basically on the top. You see the lead to the top. But yeah, it came off. And it's soldered on, and it basically broke off. So now I gotta take this whole chassis apart just to get that motor out. Get the motor out. I gotta take the whole thing apart, and I really this is more of a job than I really wanted. So yeah, I gotta do that. And so I have time. I have to wait till I bought some new flux, and I gotta wait till that comes in. That's coming in sometime next week. Once I get the new flux, and then I'm gonna take this apart and and fix what I gotta fix, and then put the decoder back together. Wire everything up again, and then keep my fingers crossed that I didn't damage didn't. Excuse me. Sometimes I just get mumble mouth. I don't understand why, but thinking faster than I can actually talk sometimes, or talk faster than I think. I don't know. Either way, it's mumble mouth, and it's not really that good. But anyway, I digress. So I gotta wait till the flux come in, and I can do all these things that need to be done, and hopefully it will work out fine. So stay tuned for that. All right. The flux actually came in early, and this is the flux that I've received. I ordered this from eBay. So let's see how this works. And this is the engine here, a motor actually. As you can see the positive lead and the missing negative lead on the bottom. So I just have to solder it on. and clean these connections here on the decoder, clean them up a little bit more using the new flux, and we'll see what happens.